Hello and welcome to Spectrumdominus above or below stream. We're going to start something new on the channel and I'm going to explain it to you before we get started. So, to jump right into it, let's talk about list making. Now, what goes into list making? Everyone's made a list before. What their favorite TV show is, their favorite movie, their favorite candy bar. And most people are, I would say almost everybody, is able to tell what their favorite of any item is, anything we're talking about, any list. That's the easy part. It's when you say what's your top 5 or what's your top 10 or even further than that it gets to be more difficult. Now, sure, most people probably believe they can list their 5 top items of any particular list. Top 5 candy bars. Well, mine is, and you could list those 5. But here's the thing. Once you get past what your favorite is, once you get past that thing that really you think about every time, there usually is so many options, especially when you're talking about movies or characters in TV shows. And sometimes with TV shows, there's such a limited amount of characters that you can do top 5, but then top 10, you give 10, but then there are characters you forget about, or there's a candy bar you forget about, or a movie you forget about and didn't think about. And when it's brought up, you're like, oh, wait, that actually would be in there. That would push someone out. And if it gets to be this complicated thing, and it's hard to determine what actually is someone's list in proper order. So, I'm a big list maker. I have been my whole life. Me and my friends do it for fun. And along the way, we developed a way that is without human flaw. It would be the perfect way to make an appropriate list. And we're going to talk a little bit about that now in the history of the above or below list. Now, what is an above or below list? Well, above or below is the format that we have come up with to make a list. No one can truly, unless you have every item possibly listable, listed out and ranked, you can't know that you have a complete list. If we did candy bars, you could say Snickers, Twix, Kit Kats, but if you forgot Milky Way or Three Musketeers, until everything is ranked, there's no true complete list. So we always work with of the list we have. And what we do is, instead of, a lot of lists are made through sliding scales. You grab an item and you slide it up the list and say it goes right about there. And in doing so, you pass a bunch of names, you do a quick read, you don't see anything above it or below it, and you just kind of slow down when you see things that are similar to it. And the problem with that is when you don't compare things one to one. And that's what we do with our lists. Every item is compared one item to another item. Now, this is where the human error comes in that we talked about. We've actually done a little psychological and sociological experiments on it to determine some of the determining factors of why certain aspects happen in the list. For example, if the character let's say we're doing candy bars, and you've already ranked a Snickers bar, which you really like, and you get a Butterfingers, which you really don't like. So you start up against a Snickers bar. Now, psychologically, you don't like the Butterfingers, so you try to push it down. And by pushing it down, when it gets to those few candy bars that you would rank it the same as, you tend, because you're working down, to push it under them. In the same situation, had you started low and you liked it more, when you get to those same candy bars, you tend to rank it above them. We've noticed this to happen across many lists, across many people, new or old, whether we're aware of the phenomenon or not, it happens. So this is the human error I talk about. That being said, if we could take out our biased against wanting to hurt or help a certain item more out, and you could do the list at the same time. The way you feel about an item when it's the first two items listed versus when you're dealing with it after have worked on 50 other items are completely different. So if you could do them all as your first item and not on different days, then you would have a true list of exactly how you feel about the items on the list. Now, we're aware that that's never going to happen. You can't list all 50 items at the same time. You cannot. Time span happens while you're making the list. So it'll never be a true list. But it'll be as close to the list as I believe as you will ever become if you spend the time doing it correctly. So, we've done this starting in the past. This became a thing when we did wrestling characters. We used to watch WrestleMania, and at the end of every WrestleMania, when the season of wrestling was over, we would rank the wrestlers, and everyone in our little clique did it. And we would compare them to the previous years. We would see how certain wrestlers climbed or fell, depending on their storyline during the year. We could see when wrestler X had a great and funny year and was pretty much non-existent the year before, how he went from real low to one of our top favorite for the year. And it really gave us a feeling for how certain characters were treated that year and different ebbs and flows of how we felt about the product in general. And I found it useful in a lot of different aspects, and to determine how a lot of my friends thought about certain things, whether it be Disney characters or WWE superstars or movies or television shows. We've gotten a lot of information about each other, and I feel, and a lot of them feel too, that we know each other better because we've made these lists. So that is why we say, if someone asks us if we have a list, our response are, if they ask us who our favorite something is, our response is either, well, I don't know, I haven't made the list, or, well, of the characters or items on the list I've made, this is my number one. It doesn't mean that he's my number one, or it's my number one. It means that there might be an item that's above it, probably not, but we did not add it to the list yet, so of the items we have, this is my number 9. And that's why we deal with it that way. So now I'm going to explain the app and how it works. How does the website work? Well, here we go. I'm going to flip over to the website here. And as you see, the website is here on my, I guess to you guys, that's my right. So yeah, that's still my right. On my right. And above me, right above me here, http:// above-below.spectrumdominus.com/# will bring you to this page right here. This page right here is this website right there. Above that is just a list of all the social media aspects, the way of following me, including the first YouTube link is where you're seeing this video now. The second YouTube link is where I do a lot of my wrestling videos with my brother, more on wrestling. But we'll get to, that's a whole nother story. For now, let's just work on the website. So the website is our above and below website. You click this top button up here, connect to Twitch, and it connects with Twitch. Now, we are currently working with the developer where I'm trying to, several things I'm working on, hoping to eventually get things fixed or changed. One thing I'd like is for us to have a login database rather than having to log in through Twitch, so that if you're not a Twitch user, you can use the site without having to go to Twitch, create an account just to use the app. I'd also like to create it where you can friend each other so that you can make your lists, make a list, make it public or private, and then private lists would need to be sent an invite, and public lists can be seen by any of your friends. That's how I would like it to work out. I don't know about the logistics of it. I'm just the talent, and we're having meetings with the developers as we go along to see what we can do. So after you click that in, it logs you in. It logged me right in there under my Spectrumdominus name, which is my Twitch account name. And this will all be blank for you. You won't have anything here. These are all the lists I've made. And I've done things like movies I want to see again, Disney songs. I'm ranking my NFL fantasy football positions there. A lot of different lists. All you would do is you create a new list. You say YouTube videos, and then you rank all the YouTube videos on the list. Create a list. You can add video 1, and then you can put the YouTube address to that video link here. All right, must be a valid URL. So let's let us do this. Have this. So, no, that's not what I meant. Let's do this. There we go. So, new vote option. If you go to new vote option and you put in, oh, I can't click it on there. I got to click it on the app. Okay, so I was trying to click it on my screen capture, and you put in the link, and then you say video 1. Add. Then it comes here, and now you have the name you called it. You can edit it, delete it, or add a picture if you'd like. Choose a file, and then you would choose, and I'm just going to choose any old picture here just so you can see what we're doing. Boom. And now it has a video. It has a little thumbnail so you can see what it is. We're going to do a second vote option. I'm going to call it video 2. We're going to put the same link in just so we have a link. We're going to add a different picture. And Cloud Atlas. Let's do that picture. Doesn't matter. It's so not part of the important thing. I'm just trying to show you how you would create your little list. And that's it. It's that easy. You now have a list. It's only 2 items on the list, but you have a list. So, and there's your list. Now I will delete that list because we don't need it. But now I'm going to show you how to use the list with candy. Candy. All right, so here's a list of candy. It's not all the candy. It's just a list of candy. Butterfingers, Kit Kats, M&Ms, Milky Way, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, Snickers, and Twix. All right. You come here and you hit Invite Link. Now, I've already finished my list. This is my list. This is what it will look like when you're done. If you ever want to redo it, you just click Restart. It pulls them all out, and it will show you 2 random pieces of candy. You have to decide, do I prefer Kit Kats or do I prefer Twix? These are 2 of my favorite, and it's really just a matter of how I feel that day. Today I'm feeling more Twix. I have voted Kit Kat higher before. This is what I mean about human error in the lists. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are very high for me as well, but they're lower than Kit Kats. Snickers are lower than Reese's Peanut, and all you do is click whichever one is higher for you. I like Reese's Peanut Butter Cups more, so I click Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I like Snickers more than Milky Way, so I click Snickers. I like M&Ms more than Milky Way, so I click M&Ms because I liked it more than an item already placed. It goes to the next item on the list. I like M&Ms more than Snickers, so that goes here. I, however, like Reese's Peanut Butter Cups more than M&Ms. Butterfingers I like more than Milky Ways. And I like them more than Snickers. But I like M&Ms more. And there's my list. So, what it does is it just kind of keeps track as you're going. You don't have to keep every item in your head. In fact, theoretically speaking, you're not supposed to know what item's coming next. We're humans. We have good enough brains that we can remember a lot of this stuff. But theoretically speaking, you should be ranking every item against itself. I mean, the next item individually each time. And that's pretty much, that's how it is. So what are we doing here today? Well, we're going to do a series of videos, and there are going to be 8 different videos. It's going to be one series that's bookended by this one, or started with this one, that's going to span off into a tree of 8 different video series. And those video series are going to be 8 different lists that I'm going to do one item at a time. But they're things that I have to watch or listen to or what have you. So I will have the app tell me which 2 to go visit. And we're going to see all 8 lists and the first 2 items on each of those lists today. And then what will happen is we will break off into different videos from there. So the series will go, in a sense, we will play the video. I will go off. We'll watch. You'll watch this video, and you'll see 2 movies that I'm told to watch. I will end the video. I will watch those 2 movies. Then I will bring up a new video on that specific list, ranking those 2 movies against each other. Then it will give me a third movie, which I will then go watch, and I will rank that third movie against the other 2, or against the other 1 if it doesn't go above or below it. And I will keep doing that. But at the same time, I will be running 8 different lists. So it will create a list 1, list 2, list 3, and you can watch any 1 or all 8 of the series to see what I watch and what I like and how I like them. So then that brings up the next question. What are the 8 lists? And here we go. Here are the 8 lists for you to watch, for you to see what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing the WWE studio movies. Now, these are movies like The Marine, Walking Tall, The Chaperone, See No Evil. These are considered some of the truly horrific, terrible movies in movie history. People hate this stuff. I love watching the wrestlers as actors. I'm a big WWE fan, as most of you know. So I'm going to rank all the WWE Studios movies based on how I like them. And this is all about my personal preference, not some Academy Award. This shooting, if the way the film is shot enhances it for me and I notice it, then great. If it doesn't, then I don't really take anything off. I don't say this was great cinematography, this one moment where I just want the entertainment value. How entertained was I? Same thing will happen with the Disney animated movies, starting with Snow White, going all the way through, I guess Finding Dory was the most recent one. It will include things like Three Caballeros and Fantasia, so there'll be some very boring moments for me in here. But I'm going to do them all out of order, whatever order Above or Below gives me. Then I'll be doing American Idol alumni. Now, why am I doing this? This was actually a list I was asked to do. I will be listening to their complete discography up to this point. So if I get Kelly Clarkson, I'm going to have to listen to 9 or 10 albums. Whereas if I get Ace Young, I may only have to hear 1 album. Then I will be comparing one person's discography to another person's discography and how much I enjoy it. Now, this is not to say that one is better than the other. It's to say this one had 3 songs I liked. This one was all just average songs. They weren't bad, but the 3 songs on one disc was better than 8 songs that I couldn't deal with. So that will be, I find that to be something exciting I'm interested in doing. I did watch quite a few of the American Idol seasons. There were a lot I did not. I would say I watched 5 to 6 of the 15 or 16 seasons. So there's quite a few I don't know. I'll be interested in hearing their music. And a lot of the people put out albums that I didn't even realize put out albums once I was making these lists. List 4 is musicals. I have musicals that are current, like Hamilton and Rent and Les Mis. Les Mis I wouldn't exactly call current. That's more like 20, 30 years. That's in the Les Mis, Evita era. But I also have stuff like way back when in Hello Dolly and South Pacific and stuff like that. So I will be finding a video version of these movies and watching them and ranking them as well. Then I have 2 different things of movies here, 5 and 6. And I am a personal believer that solo movies, movies without a sequel, movies without a universe, cannot be compared to movies in a universe. Anyone can say Back to the Future was a great movie, and it was. I love Back to the Future, but ranking it against a movie that doesn't have two further movies that even enhances it in some way, you cannot watch, in my opinion, Back to the Future without subconsciously understanding that there are more movies, or remembering those movies and parts enhancing and influencing your opinion on them. Because of that, those are two separate lists. In solo movies, they're going to be movies that I have not seen yet. So although the movies at the top of the list would be stuff like Few Good Men and Shawshank Redemption, two of my favorite movies of all time, I've already seen them. They've been put on my other movie list that I make as I watch movies. This will be all movies I haven't seen before. I love you guys sending me movie suggestions. I know I added a suggestion that was given to me right before I made this video by one of my mods called The Bet. I added it to the list because he said I should watch it, and it is now in the list. It may come up today. Any movie that you think I should see, I'll either comment that I've already seen it, commented that it's on the list, or I will add it to the list. So feel free to add movies on there. Same thing with series. Anything that has a 1 or a 2, whether it be Ted 1 and 2, Zoolander 1 and 2, or the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they're all on the list. But feel free to add more to the list, and if it's not there, I will add it. Then finally, TV series. I have over 200 TV series on the list. I am not currently watching one right now. I just finished up, actually I didn't finish up Community, but I'm watching the final season with my brother, so I don't have a solo TV show by myself, so I'm going to let it tell me what TV show to watch and go from there. And finally, animated superhero movies. This is something I've been wanting to get into for quite a while and just never found the time. I'm going to use the app as a way to force myself to watch some of these movies. There are apparently some great animated movies out there and things I want to watch. Now, when we go through these lists, and I'm about to start pulling up, and we'll see what my choices are going into the next video. But when I go through these lists, there are going to be some questionable content. Some might say Walking Tall or The Rundown starring The Rock is not a WWE film studios movie. When I bring up WWE Studios, every list I've looked at, whether it be a Wikipedia list or something else, they list the two movies, so I left it. I'm not going to argue the fact. I don't know. I don't want to make it homework. I want to make it an enjoyable experience. So if I was given something when I looked for it, for example, Megamind came up as animated superhero movies. I can't argue against that, but maybe someone else could. It's not exactly what I meant when I was thinking Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I wasn't thinking Megamind, but it came up and I hadn't seen it, so I put it on the list. So if you have a problem with something that comes on the list, feel free to comment. I will get in a lively debate with you, but it's there, so I will probably watch the movie. All right? So, to the first list, and to see what 2 WWE studio movies I will be watching. Here we go. Here's the list. You can see there are 40 different WWE studio movies on this list, including the Scooby-Doo movies, some of them starring WWE guys like The Condemned stars Stone Cold Steve Austin, Condemned 2 stars Randy Orton, or The Day, which didn't star anyone. As far as I'm aware, there's not a single WWE wrestler in it, but it is a WWE studio movie. So a lot of different stuff here. All I do is click invite link, and whatever 2 movies they show me, those will be the 2 movies that I'm watching. So here we go. First 2 movies. I will be watching Legendary starring John Cena, and Barricade. I don't even know who's in that one. So I'll let you know when I come back. When we come back to this, I will let you know who's in Barricade. If it's a WWE superstar, I feel like that's the one that was Brodus Clay. That might have been the one that had Brodus Clay in it in a side role. But We'll find out on the next video. That'll be the WWE Studios, Above and Below WWE Studios series. So the second list, the Disney animated movies. What 2 Disney animated movies will I be watching? So here's the list with 74 different movies on there. All right. And the first 2 movies I will be watching for the Disney animated studio movies list will be Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and Saludos Amigos. Never even heard of Saludos Amigos, and probably I'm not saying that right. Slightly disappointed there. I was hoping to see something a little more current, but I think it's kind of fortuitous that I'm starting with the first one. I'm starting with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. That is interesting, and I'm okay with it. So I'll knock those 2 out, and we'll get to the third movie soon. As far as American Idol alumni go, the first 2 discographies that I will be listening to are, and as you can see, I've got AJ Gill from season 1. I put in their seasons. I put in whether the winners, Caleb Johnson, season 13 winner, Candace Glover, season 12 winner. I've got practically everyone in there that released something. And we're going to do Brooke White from season 7 and Bucky Covington from season 5. This is not a hard one for me to do because I believe, I don't know, I maybe only have one of Brooke White's albums, but I know that she's put out at least 2 albums, and I have one, and I know that I have at least one of Bucky's. I don't know if Bucky has a second one. I also am very familiar with one of Bucky Covington's songs. I've tried to sing it at karaoke. I'm not going to say one of my favorite songs because I never made the list, but it is a great song called The Walk, so I'm looking forward to this. I have a prediction, but I will wait until I hear the complete discography to make my distinguishing who is above or below. So I almost clicked restart, which would have given me 2 new people. Very happy with that list. So far, the American Idol's alumni is the one I'm happiest with. So let's see what musicals we're going to start with. And our musical list. Invite link. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, we'll be watching Man of La Mancha and How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. Now, here's the thing. This may be a difficult thing for me to do. I don't think Man of La Mancha and How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying will be that difficult. There are movie versions. I can find them. I can watch them. But there will be times that there aren't film versions. Thought process, something like Miss Saigon, which I'm dying to see, does not have a film version. I might be able to find a pirated version of a stage play. If that's what I have to do, that's what I have to do. This list, I suspect, may take longer to fill out than any others, just for lack of being able to find the content. But I'm interested in seeing either of those. I have no opinion on either of them. I've probably heard some of the songs from them and did not even know they're from those musicals. So that'll be interesting. So here we go. Here's what most people are probably waiting for. What series will I be watching, and then what solo movies will I be watching? The movies in a series with a sequel, there are 78, including 12 rounds does not fit on there because that is over. There's 77 because that is over in the WWE Studios movies. Airplane, Dark Knight Trilogy, Indiana Jones Saga, Mad Max series, Naked Gun Trilogy, Rocky Saga, Riddick Chronicles, X-Men Universe, whatever. All of it. It's all in there. You name it, I tried to put it in there. Give me more. So, here we go. And the first series I will be comparing to each other is the Expendables Trilogy versus the Blade Trilogy. I'm actually very excited about this one. 2 trilogies. I have already seen both before. I could rank. I haven't seen Blade in so long. I would want to rewatch it, and I'm going to rewatch it just to remember all the things that I've forgotten about. So this is going to be fun for me. I can't wait to get this one done. Because they're a series, I expect this to take longer than most as well. Because I have to watch 6 movies just to rank this one before moving to the next one. So we've got that back. Coming up on the end here, last couple. Spectrum solo movie. Nope, Spectrum hasn't watched yet. Here we go. There are 90 movies on this, and there can be so many more. So many more. I should be adding to this list as the year goes on and movies are released that I don't watch. But as of now, we are going to be watching What If, starring Daniel Radcliffe, the best rom-com since 500 Days of Summer, and Mortal Instruments City of Bones, both from 2013. I'm okay with that. I don't know anything about What If. I don't even remember putting it on the list, so there's that. But Mortal Instruments is something I did want to see when it came out. It doesn't look like they're continuing it, or they may be continuing it in a TV series, is what I heard. But I did want to see it, so there's that. We'll check those out. So my next TV series, and how I'm going to do the TV series is, whichever one is shorter, I'm going to watch first, and then I'll watch the longer one, and I'll try to knock them out of the way, one then the other. But which series should I watch next? Here is the list, and 3, 2. Oh wait, this one's going to be done. Yep, the results are in. So this is done only because this was ranked based on what I wanted to watch. If you see, I pulled out anything that's current, and I'm going to do that too. If a TV show comes up that is currently running, I'm going to remove it from the list because I don't want to try to catch up and then wait. It'll only be the 145 that are on here that have finished, okay? So for me, Dexter was number 1, Breaking Bad was number 3, etc. We're going to restart right now and see what it gives me. Gotham, which is current, we're going to skip that. Orange is the New Black is current. Beauty and the Beast, I think, just finished up. The Shield is not. Beauty and the Beast, I'll have to check. Nope, you know what? I'm going to pull it out. I'll check it and add it back in if I need to. Because we need to know. So here we go. There's our 2 series. 2 seasons of the Life Unexpected. 7 seasons of The Shield. I'm going to just blow through 2 seasons of Life Unexpected. It was a CW show in 2011 through 2013. And then I will do 7 seasons of The Shield. It ended. So it was 2009 through 2011, sorry. And 7 seasons of The Shield from 2001 through 2008. Those will be the TV shows I watch. And just like the series, this will take a long time for me to blow through 2 television series. But we'll be doing them. And finally, last but not least, the animated superhero movies. As you see, there are 74 different animated superhero movies. A lot of Batmans. A lot of Justice League. Some Lego stuff. A lot of Supermans. Here we go. And the 2 animated movies I'll be watching will be Superman Unbound and Green Lantern Emerald Knights. Those sound like good. They're good arts on the video covers. I know nothing about the movies. I like both characters, and I can't wait to watch them. So, if you have any questions, feel free to visit my Twitch page and follow me there and leave me a message there. You can email me at spectrumdominus@gmail.com, Facebook me at facebook.com/spectrum.dominus, or you can leave comments below. If you like the video, please click like and subscribe so you can see more videos. If you have some suggestions, I am thoroughly interested in seeing what kind of suggestions you have. My goal right now is to not only watch this stuff, but work with the developers to get this more user-friendly for us to be doing this together. For you to go and watch Superman and Green Lantern Starbound. And for you to be able to rank the same movies that I am watching at the times I'm watching them. Come back and rank those 2, and then wait to see which one the app gives me to watch third. And you watch the third one with me. But there needs to be some changes on the app before we can get to that point. So that's where we're working now. So I want to thank you for coming out. You can also follow my second YouTube channel at More on Wrestling. The link is above. And I want to thank you all for coming out. For Spectrum Dominus, this was Above or Below.